Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is Force with some more Friday Night Magic. Today we are playing a white-black deck. This is Orzhov's Order. Orzhov is like the name for the white-black Guildgate stuff. This opening hand, I decided to keep it because we did have the two lone missionaries as well as the Nimbus Wing and the God's Willing, all of which we can play, but unfortunately we cannot play our black drop, which is the Tormented Hero, which makes me a little bit sad. So this is a deck with a fairly low curve. I wouldn't call it super aggro. I guess I might consider it a little more mid-range, but we've got a bunch of removal, we've got some nice creatures, and then some creature pump up to enhance said creatures and push through damage. So we've got cards like the Agent of Fate here, where we just play our lone missionary. It's a 2/1. When it comes into play, we gain 4 life, so this is going to bring us up to 24. And then next turn, we can Nimbus Wing on it, which will make him a 3/3 flying, and then we can keep hitting our opponent. So the Nimbus Wing is going to give it +1/+2 and flying. And that's probably exactly what I'm going to do if I don't... even if I draw a black mana, I'll probably play the Tormented Hero and then Nimbus Wings the opponent. So we're not going to block his 1/1 that he's attacking with here. Tormented Hero, what is this? Okay, he pumps it up until end of turn. Yeah. Enters the battlefield tap, and it's got a heroic ability so that whenever I cast a spell that targets it, each opponent loses 1 life and we gain 1 life that way. So it's a nice early creature. Again, we've got a lot of stuff that will target our creatures, so it's a nice early creature that we can... pump up with our various spells, such as the Nimbus Wings and the God's Willing, and get that extra bonus effect of us gaining life and them losing life. Now, fortunately enough, again, we have no black mana right now. We're running 4 Guild Gates and then a bunch of plains and a bunch of swamps. And I think there's 1 less swamp than there are plains, and unfortunately, that mana distribution is kind of screwing us over a little bit right now, and he's got a whole bunch of pump ups, so that's going to get 4 more attacks. That's 5, 6 that he'll swing us for, and then what the hell, and then +2/+2 as well as Convoke. And let me show you here, hit F1. So your creature, you basically tap creatures to pay the Convoke cost, so that doesn't really come into effect there, but boy oh boy, that was a rather painful turn. There's our Guild Gate. So we'll be able to play the Tormented Hero in an upcoming turn, but for now, I'm actually going to go with a second Lone Missionary to gain a little bit of life, offset some of this damage that he's dealt to us. This will also give us another blocking creature or another potential target for our Nimbus Wing, and then we're going to hit him for 3. So I'm trying to think here if I want... I might play the Tormented Hero and then the turn after that throw the Nimbus Wing on it, so I can probably use one of these as a blocker. He's obviously just running small creatures and then a bunch of pump up. I mean, at this point, that much is obvious. In fact, speaking of pump up, target creature gets +X/+X till end of turn, where X is the number of creatures you control. So he's going to be able to use that. He can just tap 4. He's got the 4. He'll be able to use that to pump one of those up next turn. Well, he's just going to pump up whatever we end up not blocking anyways with this next turn, but at least I guess this will remove some of those creatures, so it'll be less of a pump up. So let's go ahead and block. And he's got, that is his 3rd Gather Courage that he had in his hand. Let me just say, if you don't know much about Magic, that is freaking insane that he had 3 copies of the same card in these first few turns. That is absolutely freaking insane. Alright, so we've got the Agent of Fates that we could play, and when we pump this up, it's going to force the opponent to sack a creature. We also have the Tormented Hero that we could play. I guess the Agent of Fate, I mean, this is 1 life difference, but the Agent of Fate's forcing him to sacrifice a creature is much more beneficial to us. And we have a card to potentially save it. We also have the Banisher Priest. I'm actually going to play the Banisher Priest. I completely changed my mind. We're going to play the Banisher Priest as well as the Tormented Hero. So this is going to allow me to exile one of his creatures. Plus it gives me another blocking creature. So we're going to use this to exile his 2/3. Okay, and then we can also play our Tormented Hero right now. So we're going to do that. Okay, excellent. So we got rid of his creature that he could have used to pump up his small creature. So now he has to rely, you know, maybe he's got another freaking Gather Courage in his hand. I wouldn't put it past him, honestly, at this point. But I'm gonna swing for him in the face. And that's basically it. Next turn will be pretty good with a Nimbus Wing. If we draw another land, we could potentially Agent of Fates and then Nimbus Wing the Agent of Fates to force him to sack a creature. He's playing a 3rd Elvish Visionary, so we get to draw another card. Then he plays a Young Wolf. It's a 1/1. It has Undying, which is the big thing. When it dies, it comes back with a 1/1 counter on it, basically. He chooses not to block, which tells me he has no pump up at all here. So we can actually Agent of Fates and then Nimbus Wing, forcing him to sack a creature, which he'll just sack that. So maybe we don't bother doing that, and maybe we Nimbus Wings our 2/1 for some life swing. Actually, wait, this will do. So then I can attack for 3, 6, and there'll be 7 from that, and then 8, 9 if I force the God's Willing through. We don't have to do all of that though. All right, so I am just going to Agent of Fates right now. And then I'm going to Nimbus Wing my 2/1. And then this will trigger the effect of him losing a life and us gaining a life. And then I'm going to just swing for 6. We're going to keep our 2/2 here. I don't want to attack with this, because if he blocked and killed it, then he gets his Elder of Laurels back, which we don't want that to happen. So we do that, we swing. He's at 4, we're at 17. Okay, all right. All right. So we can win next turn with the God's Willing, even if he killed both of our... Oh, no, not if he killed both. If he kills one of our flying creatures, we can still win next turn with the God's Willing. Apparently that is not the case, though, because Necrocrotcher, or whatever his name was, has been replaced by AI. I know it was a Necrocrotcher, I don't know. All right, so that is going to be the game. So right now we can just go ahead and swing with... I guess just swing with everything. It doesn't really matter. And then when he chooses to block, we can give... Well, let's actually... Shoot. I didn't do it fast enough. I was going to say before he declares blockers, I could God's Willing to give one of these guys protection from green so that he couldn't block. And then... Okay. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but we're just going to do that. And whatever. It doesn't really make it makes no difference. I'm just wasting time. I'm wasting my time. I'm wasting your time. I don't know what my problem is. I'm sorry. I apologize. This is just all right. Let's just move on to the next match. We win. And now here we are on the second match. This opening hand looks okay. Yeah, I think I'll keep it. We've got the Ajani's Pride Mate. We've got the Child of the Night, which has lifelink, which will pump up the Pride Mate. Well, let's go ahead and keep this hand. This hand's a little slow, but again, this is I'd consider this more of a mid-range, maybe even a tempo-y style deck. Actually, now that I think of it, we're just gonna open up with our Guild Gate because we have no turn 1 drops that we would want to play anyways. So we're gonna open up with our Guild Gates. Comes into play tapped, but we can tap it for a white or black mana. It's basically like the crappy versions of dual lands. I almost feel like I'd rather have the Pain lands in this deck than the Gates. So Pain lands would come into play untapped, but you take damage every time you tap the particular land. But that can work out very, very well for you. Now, order of operations here. If we play the Child of Night, lifelink, and then attack next turn, but then play this first, then Johnny's Pride Mate's going to get pumped up. Whereas if we play the Pride Mate now, he won't get pumped up next turn. So I think our play is to do that very thing. We're going to play the Child of Night right now. We can swing with the Child of Night next turn, so long as he plays no blockers that it'll just die to. And actually, even if he does, we've got stuff that we can do like Swift Justice. Or, no, we can ulcerate the opponent. Yeah, so if he plays a creature, we'll probably be able to ulcerate it, and then swing, gain life, which will trigger the Pride Mate. This is good, this is good. Oh, this is so good, so good. All right, excellent. Draw planes, fine. Let's go ahead and play the Pride Mate. We want to do this pre-combat so that we gain the lifelink trigger. Okay, which will pump up Pride Mate. So then we go ahead and move into combat phase. And then we swing for 2. So unless this thing dies right here, he's got removal or whatever. He doesn't, so we gain the life. Johnny's Pride Mate is pumped up. Yes, obviously we do want to trigger the ability, because why wouldn't we? And then we can now pass the turn. Now next turn we can play another Child of Night. We have 4 mana, so we only need to draw 1 more mana to be able to afford the Baneslayer Angel. This card is ridiculous. 5/5 flying, first strike, lifelink, protection from demons, protection from dragons. Oh my gosh, this is so disappointing when this happens. The opponent has left the game. The opponent has left the game. Yes, indeed. Indeed, my friends. You saw it happen right here before your very eyes. I don't know what to say other than it makes me sad, but alas. I'm assuming this is just a surefire victory. However, what happens, I believe, in Duels is that when an opponent decides to leave, the opponent's hand gets replaced with a brand new set of cards. I don't know if they're guaranteed to get any certain thing, this or that over the other, but their hand does get replaced with a brand new set of cards. Okay, that's fine. So he did that for 1. Revealed his creature. It was not something that he could play, so whatever. We can play the Baneslayer Angel right now, but we don't even need to, because what we're going to do is we are going to ulcerate to kill that. And then we are just going to swing for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And this could be for 11. That doesn't make a difference, though. So we'll just swing for 11. The Ajani's Pridemate is going to get pumped up absurdly. We are going to gain 6 life. And next turn, we pretty much just have the victory. So why did I ulcerate his creature instead of playing the Baneslayer Angel? Well, pretty much... you know what, actually? Yeah, no, it's fine, because I would have lost one of my Child of Knights. That was probably actually the better play. It's probably better... Damn it. It's probably better play to just lose one of the Child of Knights, because the Baneslayer being in play would have just made it that much more guaranteed that we'd probably just win this, so... But let's just swing for the 6, and we should have this unless he can bounce back 2 creatures, which I'm assuming he can't. So that, my friends, is game number 2. You know, it's always so sad when an opponent just ups and leaves the game. It's just very disappointing, but unfortunately there's really not a ton we can do about it. We're going to have to actually dump this hand and hope for something a little bit better. This is acceptable. We'll go ahead and keep this. I'm gonna go ahead and keep this because we've got some early plays that we can do here. My mana, I might have to work on my mana curve or something, or my mana distribution. It's just not doing what I want it to. Okay, so we've got the hero here. He's a 2/2. It makes it so that my auric spells cost less. Plus, whenever I target him, he gets +1/+1. Now remember, as we've seen so far, this deck has a ton of targeting stuff. Even something like God's Willing does the trick. So we can pump him up, and he will be pumped up permanently. That is a 1/1 counter that stays on him indefinitely, which is very, very nice. So we're running God's Willing. Why? Well, God's Willing protects our creatures. The Scry one is nice too. And with all of our creatures that have a heroic effect, we're able to trigger that with this stuff. So it's pretty nifty. It's pretty nice. Now I could force through damage with the God's Willing, so you can protect your creatures, but you can also push through damage by giving your creatures protection from whatever thing that your opponent has in play. I can get rid of his wall right now to hit him for 2. That'll also give me another creature in play. Now, Banisher Priest is probably better saved for a large creature, but this will also give me some tempo here. I mean, I can't get past this if it's still in play. So I am going to play the Banisher Priest against an 0/4 wall. Typically, you want to use the Banisher Priest against a very imposing creature. The 0/4 wall isn't a very imposing creature by itself, but it effectively negates a lot of our damage, you know? And I want to be able to deal with that. Now, if I pumped him up enough and then attacked and God's Willing to protection him from white, and it would have killed the wall, but that could be a couple of turns away. I don't know if I'm going to draw into anything, you know, worth it before then. So what I'm really hoping right now is for the Nimbus Wings, because Nimbus Wings on this guy, he will turn into a 3/3 and then +1/+2, so he will be a 4/5 at that point flying. I mean, he will be super imposing at that point. But we are not there quite yet. I guess I could just Lone Missionary just for the sake of the life gain. I don't expect him to have board clear. But I mean, he could, of course, but I don't super anticipate it. This, again, gives me another creature on the board. And so to allow us to swing for 6 next turn. And we also play the Guildgate this turn, which means next turn, if we draw a swamp, we can play the Graveborn Muse, which would be very nice. It's just a 3/3 creature. We don't have like a ton of zombies in this deck, but the thing is, it'll give us a card every turn. It'll give us 1 card every turn, because we draw a card and lose life equal to X. X is the number of zombies in play. This creature is a zombie itself. Opponent played an Elvish Visionary. It's just a 1/1. He gets to draw a card, whatever. What else does he play? 2/2. Okay, so 1/2. All right, so if he chooses to block that with that, I'm probably going to God's Will. No, you know, I'll probably just let it die. Ooh, the Johnny's Pridemate. All right, we're going to play the Pridemate. Let me just swing with these 2. Yeah, let me just swing with these 2. I don't want to swing with this because this will just die right now. I mean, I guess it'll kill one of... You know what? Whatever. We're going to swing with that, even if it does just die. Whatever. He lets it all through. He lets 6 through. Oh, that's actually a little concerning for me. Well, he's running a token-style deck. All right, we'll see. We'll see how it turns out. We'll see. It's a little bit concerning, though. He was not willing to sacrifice any of that damage. Wall of Omens, that's fine. We've got the gods willing to push through whatever he tries to block with that. He's got this that he can untap creatures and put tokens into play. He's gonna play a second one of those. So now he's got a bunch of blockers for this turn. Gets a token in play. Taps 2 creatures to get a token in play. So he's trying to set up for like a big upcoming turn, basically. But I don't know if he's gonna live long enough for that to matter. All right, so we are going to Graveborn Muse. We'll do this post-combat. There's not much of a reason. There's actually no reason to do it pre-combat. Okay, so we're gonna swing with everything here. He probably might block with my 2/1 with his 1/1. I hope he blocks this guy with his wall, so I can pump it up, get the scry. No, he blocks that. All right. Well, I'm actually gonna do this to pump this guy up. This is gonna give us extra damage now. The protection part doesn't matter at this point, but it does let us scry. So I'll give it protection from green or whatever, it doesn't matter. And do we want, so this is great. We don't want that Plains, that does not help us. So we're gonna put that at the bottom of our library. Because drawing that Plains would do no good for us. We don't even have anything in this deck that costs more mana than what we have in play right now. And so long as this lives for the turn, we're gonna be able to draw a card next turn. So this is pretty good, this is pretty good. We're gonna draw a card. Oh god, I hope we get a Nimbus Wings. No, there's an arrest. Check a creature can't attack, block, or use activated abilities. So he's probably gonna throw that on this guy. That is not gonna stop my draw effect, I don't believe. That doesn't count as an activated ability. As far as I'm aware, an activated ability is something like you have to tap this creature, or you have to tap mana with it, or something like that. He's gonna Hall Triumph, he'll do that for green. So his green creatures are gonna get pumped up. All right, we need Nimbus Wings. And then he's gonna get a token in play. Okay, you know what's funny though? Like game's been going good for us, whatever. He could completely turn it around right now, like 100%. He could turn this around. So we're gonna draw a card, because the arrest doesn't affect that one, like I thought. Play Child of the Night. And now we actually, attacking doesn't do us any good. This is not good. Now we're in an arms race, basically. He's going to be able to keep getting tokens in play and eventually overwhelm me. I just need to draw Nimbus Wings. Now the good thing is, as long as he doesn't kill this creature, I will be drawing a lot of cards, which will put me that much closer to getting my win condition. You know, whatever that is. But the more time that goes on, the better of an advantage that he has, because he keeps getting these tokens in play. It just gets scarier and scarier for me, and he gets to do 2 of these a turn. So in a couple of turns, he'll just be able to roll me over, basically. Oh, he also played Terror Stomper. It's a 9/9, sorry. 9/9 trample, it can't be countered. All right, so I'll draw 2 cards. There it is, the Nimbus Wings, and that is it. That's the game. That is all we needed for victory. So we are just gonna play the Nimbus Wings pre-combat. Gives him flying, pumps him up because of his heroic ability, plus pumps him up for the card 1/2. That is a 5/6 flyer. We also have the Baneslayer Angel, which we could have played to win the turn after this turn. So if this wasn't working out, the Baneslayer Angel would have done the trick too. But as we see, that was unnecessary because we have the victory. Sweet, sweet victory. And now on to our final game for today. This is not too shabby. Yeah, let's keep it. We get to play first, so that means we do get to open up with a Tormented Hero, which is nice. I mean, you know what would be amazing? Turn 1 Tormented Hero, turn 2 Nimbus Wings, right? He gets hit with a 3/3 flying, plus he loses a life and we gain life. I mean, that would just be unreal. And it looks like we're gonna be dealing with some direct damage this game, because the opponent does have red. So that makes me sad. Let's see if he's got a shock opener. I'm attacking first before Child of the Night because I want him to shock that over Child of the Night. And I'm going to play Child of the Night. Comes into play. And next turn we can play all 3 of these creatures. Which is risky, though. We really got to think about this hard. Because red has access to 3 damage across the board. That's a spell. I forget exactly what it's called off the top of my head, but let's attack first. I'm going to attack first, but if... I think I'm gonna play 3. I might just hold on to the second hero. I might not play the second hero, but I'm gonna play these guys. I'm gonna play all of this. Oh, it's so risky, so risky, so risky, so risky. I think it'll be at least 2 more turns before you can play that other card, though, and that could be, I mean, we've got 6 damage in play, so if he doesn't get any blockers soon, it's, you know. What is going on? Oh my god, Duels, you disappoint me so much. You really do. And play the Pride Mate because we're gonna gain life. You disappoint me so much. People leave games so, and there's nothing I can do about it. There's nothing I can do about it. People just keep leaving the games. What am I supposed to do? I mean, we had one game earlier that pretty much was the whole game that the person had left. I was doing nothing pretty much. It was just, oh, that person left. All right, I guess. I mean, I gotta keep playing the match. Ugh. Well, it's just a little less satisfying, but I guess we did have some pretty fun and good games here. I guess he couldn't help it. The opponent was clearly mana screwed. Although when the AI takes over, he gets a brand new hand, but I don't know. Point is, that's gonna do it. Let's take a look at the deck list. I tell you, man, I don't know. There was even 2 games in there that you didn't see where the opponent left on the second turn. I was just like, I just gotta cut those. It's a super bummer. It really is a super bummer. Puts a damper on my spirits. We've got 4 Swift Justices. Gives target creature +1/+0, first strike and lifelink until end of turn. And again, that can be so good with any of these creatures that have heroic abilities. Specifically, this guy, very, very good with that. 4 of the God's Willing, targets a creature, gives them protection, so you can use this to save them from damage, like direct damage or removal, or you can use it to push through extra damage by giving your creature protection from their blocking creatures. 2 of the Heroes, a 2/2, makes our aura spells cost 1 less, but the big thing is that the heroic, he gets +1/+1 whenever he is targeted. We've got the Ajani's Pride Mate, 3 of these, gets +1/+1 whenever we gain life. We get a few lifelink options in this deck, including 4 of the Lone Missionaries, a 2/1 that comes into play, we gain 4 life. We have got 4 of the Nimbus Wings, enchanted creature gets +1/+2 and flying, crucial in this deck, really. We've got the King here, oh my gosh, Brimaz, 3/4 Vigilance. When he attacks, you get a 1/1 attacking creature with Vigilance. When he blocks, you get a 1/1 blocking creature with Vigilance. It's amazing, it's amazing. Banisher Priest as target removal, really best to use on large threats. The Baneslayer Angel, because the card is OP, ridiculous. Tormented Hero, it is a 2/1, comes into play tap. It's heroic, makes your opponent lose a life, you gain a life. Ulcerate for target creature removal, 2/1 lifelink, that works well with the Ajani's Pride Mate, even the Nimbus Wings to give you a flying lifelink creature. We've got the Agent of Fates, it's a 3/2 Death Touch. Its heroic is when we target it, each opponent has to sack a creature. And then lastly, our card draw engine through the Graveborn Muse. Also, potential, something to consider besides the Graveborn Muse would be a possible Mentor of the Meek, in which you could draw cards when you're playing small creatures. But Graveborn Muse is guaranteed card draw every turn. Still, it's not bad either. All right, guys, that's going to do it. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Friday Night Magic. Tune in next week for another episode. Hope you all have a fantastic week. As always, keep watching and keep owning.